Hi. In in the 20th century, the world lived under the shadow of one great rivalry, the United States, the Soviet Union. Two superpowers, two ideologies, one planet caught in between. That Cold War ended without a single direct battle between two giants, but it reshaped borders, economies, technology, and human lives. Many believed such a rivalry would never return. They were wrong. Today, the world is entering a new era of competition, quieter than a world war, more complex than the last Cold War, and far more deeply connected to our daily lives. This time, the rivalry is not between capitalism and communism. It is between the two superpowers, the United States and the China. And it is already shaping the future of the 21st century. This conflict is not about ideology alone. It is not just about armies or territories. It is about trade, technology, supply chains, currencies, alliances, and control over the future. This is Cold War 2.0. To understand how we reached this moment, we must go back in time. For much of the 20th century, China was a closed and struggling nation. But in the late 1970s, everything changed. Under the leadership, China opened its economy. Factories appeared almost overnight. Foreign companies roasting, cheap labor, strict discipline, and massive scale transformed China into the world's manufacturing hub. By the early 2000s, China was no longer just growing, it was indispensable. Almost everything the world consumed phones, clothes, electronics, machinery passed through Chinese factories. The United States benefited enormously from this system. Companies made profits, consumers enjoyed low prices, but there was a hidden consequences. China was no longer just manufacturing for the world. China was learning. Technology transfers, technology transfers, industrial expertise, supply chain mastery. Slowly, China moved up the value chain from assembling products to designing them, from copying technology to competing with it. For the first time since World War II, the United States faced a rival that could challenge it economically, technologically, and eventually militarily. The rivalry became visible in 2018. That year, the United States openly confronted China. Tariffs were imposed on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. China responded immediately. This was labeled a trade war. But trade was only the surface. The real fear was power. China was no longer satisfied with being the factory of the world. It wanted to be the brain of the world. Even today, the trade war has not yet ended. It has evolved. Sanctions replaced tariffs, export controls replaced negotiations, supply chains became weapons. But an even more dangerous battle was unfolding behind the scenes, the technology war. Every era of global dominance has been defined by technology. The Industrial Revolution created empires. Nuclear weapons defined the Cold War. Oil shaped the late 20th century geopolitics. In the 21st century, power belongs to those who control semiconductor, artificial intelligence, cyber systems, quantum computing, telecommunications, and space technology. China understood this early. It invested billions. Huawei emerged as a global leader in the 5G. China dominated solar panels, batteries, drones, and electric vehicles, its AI capabilities expanded rapidly. For the United States, this was a red line. America responded forcefully. Chinese companies were blacklisted, advanced chips were restricted, allies were pressured to cut technology ties with China. Access to the most advanced semiconductors, the brain of modern technology, was deliberately blocked. This was not a competition. This was contentment. China didn't stop. It accelerated. Domestic chips, domestic chip programs expanded. AI research intensified. Rare earth exports became leverage. Digital influence spread across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. What emerged was not a trade dispute. It was a technological Cold War. And the winner of this war will define the global future. Economic power alone, however, is never enough. Both nations understand one truth: no superpower survives without military strength. The United States still possesses unmatched military reach till now. Hundreds of overseas bases, the world's most powerful navy, unrivaled air power, the largest defense budget in history. But China is closing the gap. China now has the world's largest navy by number of ships. It has developed hypersonic missiles. It has militarized the South China Sea. It is expanding overseas military access. And above all, China is preparing for the most dangerous harassment on Earth. Taiwan is not just an island, it's the heart of global semiconductor manufacturing. Control over Taiwan means control over the technology that runs modern civilizations. For Taiwan is about sovereignty and national pride. For the United States, Taiwan is about credibility and global leadership. A conflict there would not remain regional, it would shock the entire world. Both sides are preparing. The United States has alliances: Japan, South Korea, Australia, the Philippines, and the strategic cooperation with India. China has its own partnerships: Russia, Iran, Pakistan, North Korea, and growing ties through BRICS. Everyone hopes war never comes, but preparation itself increases tension. Yet, the world today is different from the past. This is not a two-power world. We are entering a multipolar era. India is rising as balancing force. A young population, rapid economic growth, digital leadership, strategic importance in the Indo-Pacific. India does not fully align with any single camp. It negotiates. That gives its power. Europe is searching for independence, reducing energy dependence, seeking strategic autonomy, avoiding being trapped between Washington and Beijing. The Middle East is diversifying. Oil producers are building ties beyond the West. BRICS is expanding. Economic influence is replacing old loyalties. Africa has become a new battleground of influence. China builds infrastructure. The West offers security and technology. The competition is global. So, what comes next? There are several possible futures. One is a deeper Cold War, technology decoupling, cyber attacks, espionage, propaganda. Another is a limited conflict, perhaps over Taiwan or the South China Sea. Such a war would disrupt supply chains, crash markets, and reshape geopolitics overnight. A third possibility is managed competition. Rivals who compete fiercely but cooperate where survival demands it. And finally, a multipolar balance. No single ruler, no single empire, shared influence. The truth is this: The US China conflict will not end soon. It will affect jobs, technology, prices, innovation, and security across the world. Every smartphone, every supply chain, every digital system. The last Cold War reshaped the world. This one will decide its future, not with bombs alone, but with code, chips, trade routes, and influence. History is not waiting, it is unfolding right now.